Releasing the iliacus on your own without a tool like the hip hook is tough. That's when you would want to enroll a friend, a family member, or a practitioner to support you. In my 20 years of practice, the technique that I found to work the best is what I'm going to share with you today. So the iliacus is located right inside the pelvic bone. So this is when you put your hand on the front of your hip and you feel that bony part stick out in the front. Right inside of that is where your iliacus lives. It's this big muscle. It's like the size of your hand. When you're putting pressure on it, the best way to deliver that is to put it in a direction that's angular. So if you're lying on your back, like in the skeleton, it's not just a pushing down pressure, but it's an angular pressure where you're going kind of at a 45-degree angle this way. The other thing to note, and I'll show you this when I demonstrate here in just a moment, is this angle helps to put pressure, kind of pin the muscle between your finger and the bone, but also going in a 45-degree downward angle helps to get at this region of the muscle where the iliacus and the psoas both join, which is oftentimes very tight in a lot of people. And this is when we talk about using an angle with the hip hook. This is what we're accessing here. So when you're releasing a friend, you can find those bony parts that stick out in the front of the pelvis by just kind of putting your hand on the front of the pelvic bone, and you'll see there's a spot that kind of sticks out more than everything else. That's that same spot in the front of the pelvis that I was showing you on the model. So from this spot, this bone that's sticking out here, and moving my finger just inside that, maybe about an inch, to where it starts getting soft and squishy. So it's hard here, it's a bone, and then here it gets soft and squishy. And then I'm pushing downward and towards the bone. So it's similar to that model where I'm pushing and pinning that muscle on the bone. Now, the less tight you are, the deeper your finger can go. If you're pretty tight, you're not going to be able to sink in very much, and that will get better over time. But the angle is this 45-degree angle kind of towards the outside of the body. Then you can also play with pushing pressure down at a 45-degree angle this way. So it's 45-degree that way and 45 this way at the same time. And this is where you get at that spot where the iliacus and the psoas kind of intersect. And there's like a lot of real estate here. Like I said, it is about the size of your hand. So you can move up a little bit along that inside of the bone and then even down closer to the groin where that magic spot is, and put prolonged pressure. Now you can see that I'm positioned kind of closer to her head, and I have my arm in a straight position, which allows me to kind of lean into the pressure without straining myself. And this way I can hold it for a long period of time, because we know that you need at least 30 to 90 seconds of prolonged pressure in order for the brain to teach that muscle how to let go. You can hold it for longer. It's a good way to get some exercise in, some strengthening. But this is the optimum position with this angle so that I can hold it without my arms getting fatigued.